Call the roll.
Alley. Argabright. Billinger. Blasey. Blue. Bowers. Bowser. Clays from Saline. Clays from Sedgwick. Clifford. Corson. Dietrich. Erickson. Fagg. Faust-Goudot. Francisco. Gossage. Haley. Hulsher. Klemp. Cluse. Masterson. Murphy. Owens. Beck. Peterson. Petty. Rose. Reichman. Schmidt. Schallenberger. Shane. Starnes. Sykes. Thomas. Thompson. Titus. Dyson. Ware. Warren.
Senators and guests, please rise and give prayerful attention to our guest chaplain, Doug Hinkle.
Please join me in prayer. Gracious Lord, it's such a blessing this afternoon to see these 40 men and women who are here to serve the people of Kansas. I pray that you would cause them to work in harmony to achieve the best for our state. I pray that each would offer astute and insightful reasoning for the legislation they are advancing and creative alternatives to that which they oppose. Lord, you created us out of the laughter of the Trinity. We weren't made to be an army of one. You made us relational beings. Despite our high-tech world and efficient procedures, people remain the essential ingredient of life as you intended. A glib "hi, how are you" must be replaced with genuine concern. Lord, I ask that you build and strengthen this chamber with relationships that honor you. Cause a bond of common purpose and concern for one another to unite this body as they pursue the best for our state. I continue to lift up Chaplain Washington to you. Father, please ease his pain and heal his body. Bless him as he continues to care for his wife who is in failing health. I pray for President Masterson, Vice President Schallenberger, Majority Leader Blasey, and Minority Leader Sykes. Give them your clear vision for all you want to accomplish in the Kansas Senate during this 2025 session. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On a point of personal privilege, Chair recognizes the Senator from Cowley, Senator Alley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon. Today in the gallery we have Eric Rucker and his friends and family with him. We are honoring Eric today for his years of service. He served for 4.5 decades. I said decades, not years. And so would the reader read?
The Kansas Senate joins in extending official recognition to Senator Eric Rucker for his 45-year public service career dedicated to improving the lives of Kansans throughout the state. During his career, Eric served as a member of the Kansas Senate and was elected to the offices of Shawnee County Commissioner and Dickinson County Attorney. Eric also held key administrative positions in state and local government, including Chief Deputy Attorney General, Assistant Secretary of State, Chief District Attorney for Johnson County, Assistant Jefferson County Attorney, and Chief of Staff for the Majority Leader of the Kansas Senate. As a public and private attorney, Eric appeared in over half of the judicial districts of Kansas and presented oral arguments before the Kansas Court of Appeals and the Kansas Supreme Court. In addition to his service to the state and local government, Eric served his country as a captain in the Judge Advocate General Corps, Kansas Army National Guard, and was the recipient of the Army Achievement Medal. Well beyond his professional achievements, and most importantly, Eric is dedicated to his faith and family. He has been married to Joanne for more than 45 years and has 2 living sons and 3 grandchildren. The Kansas Senate recognizes and commends Eric Rucker for his distinguished 5-decade-long career in service into our great state and extends to him its sincere appreciation.
Senator from Cali.
Thank you. And as you've heard, Eric has served the people of Kansas for 45 years or more in many different capacities. Our state senator, he's been at work in Attorney General's office, in the Secretary of State's office, district attorney. He was a county prosecutor, as well as many other positions. So if you would, let's get a Senate warm welcome and a thank you to Eric Rucker. Thank you very much.
Well, Eric, we certainly appreciate your service. It dawned on me, you had as many years of service almost as I've been alive, and I'm a grandfather. So that's saying something. Thank you for your commitment to this state. Please note references of bills and appointments on page 1 through 3 of the calendar. Please see the January 23rd Journal for a report from the Kansas Corporation Commission. For consideration of appointments, Chair recognizes the senator from Sedgwick. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. Senator from Shawnee, Senator Cluse.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I just wanted to also acknowledge Senator Rucker and all of his hard work over the years, and just being a personal friend and mentor in my life. A little over 4 years ago, he just kind of pulled alongside of me and helped me in so many different ways. I could always just go to him, and he never told me how to vote, but he could give me about 3 or 4 great descriptions on what to do or not to do, and then he said, "You'll do what's right." And so I just wanted to acknowledge him as well as a friend and a mentor in my life. Thank you, Eric, for all your work.
All right. Okay, now we'll go to consideration of appointments. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader from Sedgwick, Senator Blasey.
Thank you, Mr. President. In accordance with Senate Rule 55, the appointments on pages 3 and 4 of the calendar are ready for consideration. Is there any discussion?
All right, my counties. Jackson, Senator from Jackson, Senator Bowser.
Thank you, Mr. President. I stand today in support of Brigadier General Paul Snyder. You see, I know General Snyder both personally and professionally. I first met him in 1993 at the Kansas Military Academy, where we both attended the officer candidate training program. That OCS program is a little over 1 year long. It's very demanding both physically and academically, and you get to know somebody pretty good under those conditions. I know General Snyder to be a man of integrity, honor, and courage. He's fully qualified for the position. He's been serving in it for many months now. He's dedicated more than 30 years of his life to the United States Army and to the citizens of Kansas. I encourage a yes vote on Brigadier General Paul Snyder. Thank you, sir, Mr. President.
Any further discussion on the appointments? Senator from Johnson, Senator Gossage.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of the nomination of Ms. Leonard for Kansas Child Advocate. For all the committees on which I chair and I serve, having to do with child welfare, foster care, Medicaid, et cetera, she comes and gives reports, but I know I can go to her with a family who has need. She truly cares about these families, cares about these children. Now that we put her into an independent office, not subject to the administration, she's even more leeway to be able to help these youngsters. I appreciate everything she's done, and again, would endorse her nomination. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator from Johnson, Senator Warren.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to rise in support of Crystal Watson for the Human Rights Commission. Senator Owens and I know Crystal Watson through our time in Leadership Kansas in the class of 2023 with Miss Watson, and I think we would both say we find her to be very thoughtful, very reasonable, and has served her community, if you had looked at her history, quite well, and she will be, I think, a good addition to the Human Rights Commission. So rise in support of Ms. Watson. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Senator from Sedgwick.
Mr. President, I move the appointments be confirmed as recommended by the Committee on Confirmation Oversight.
You've heard the motion. Oh, we'll have to this final action. We'll hold for final action, and we are actually now ready for final action. On first roll call, we'll take the appointments on page 3. Samaniago, Imes, Height, Mitchell, Wolf, and Leonard. Clerk will read the names.
By the Attorney General, Chairperson for the Crime Victims Compensation Board, Richard Samaniago, to serve a term of 4 years. By the Governor, member of the State Banking Board, Herbert Iams, to serve a term of 3 years. Taylor Height, to serve a term of 3 years. Irvin Mitchell, to serve a term of 3 years. Leonard Wolf, to serve a term of 3 years. The Kansas Child Advocate, the Office of the Child Advocate, Carrie Leonard, to serve a term of 4 years.
Clerk will call the roll. When we're ready.
Alley. Argabright. Billinger. Blasey. Blue. Bowers. Bowser. Clays from Saline. Clays from Sedgwick. Clifford. Corson. Dietrich. Erickson. Fagg. Faust-Goudot. Francisco. Gossage. Haley. Holscher. Klemp. Cluse. Masterson. Murphy. Owens. Peck. Peterson. Petty. Rose. Reichman. Schmidt. Schallenberger. Shane. Starnes. Sykes. Thomas. Thompson. Titus. Tyson. Ware. Warren.
Has every senator had an opportunity to vote? Does any senator wish to explain their vote? Change your vote? Seeing none, clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Having voted in favor and none opposed, the appointments, having reached the constitutional majority, they are hereby declared confirmed. On the second roll call, we will take the following. Appointments on page 4. Schneider, LaRue, Moses, Watson, and Ordoin. Clerk will read the names.
Brigadier General for the Kansas National Guard, Paul Schneider. Commissioner for the Kansas Lottery Commission, Margaret LaRue, to serve a term of 4 years. Member of the Kansas Racing and Gaming Commission, David Moses, to serve a term of 4 years. Member of the Kansas Human Rights Commission, Crystal Watson, to serve a term of 4 years. And the State Long-Term Ombudsman, Haley Ordoin.
Clerk will call the roll.
Alley, Argabright, Billinger, Lazy, Blue, Bowers, Bowser, Clays from Saline, Clays from Sedgwick, Clifford, Corson, Dietrich, Erickson, Fagg, Fascudo, Francisco, Gossage, Haley, Holscher, Klemp, Cluse, Masterson, Murphy, Owens, Peck, Peterson, Petty, Rose, Reichman, Schmidt, Schallenberger, Shane, Starnes, Sykes, Thomas, Thompson, Titus, Tyson, Ware, Warren.
Has every senator had an opportunity to vote? Does any senator wish to explain their vote? Senator wish to change their vote? Seeing none, clerk will close the roll, tally the vote. Forty having voted in favor and none opposed to these confirmations, these appointments having received their required constitutional majority are hereby declared confirmed. Introduction of bills and concurrent resolutions, clerk will read. We're going to back up. We're waiting for a bill to be read, reworked. Messages from the House, clerk will read.
Announcing adoption of House Concurrent Resolution number 5003. House Concurrent Resolution number 5003. A concurrent resolution adopting the joint rules for the Senate and House of Representatives for the 2025-2026 biennium.
This constitutes introduction of HCR 5003. This time I'm referring HCR 5003 to the Committee on the Whole. We will stand at ease for just a minute. Introduction of bills, concurrent resolutions, clerk will read.
Senate Bill number 64, by the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance, an act concerning retirement and pensions. Senate Bill number 65, by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning irrigation districts. Senate Bill number 66, by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning governmental ethics. Senate Bill number 67, by Committee on Public Health and Welfare, an act concerning health professions and practices. Senate Bill number 68, by the Committee on Ways and Means, an act making and concerning appropriations for the fiscal years ending June 30th, 2025, June 30th, 2026, June 30th, 2027 for state agencies. Senate Bill number 69, by the Committee on Assessment and Taxation, an act concerning economic development. Senate Bill number 70, by the Committee on Judiciary, an act concerning open government. Senate Bill number 71, by the Committee on Judiciary, an act concerning crimes, punishment, and criminal procedure. Senate Bill number 72, by the Committee on Assessment and Taxation, an act concerning home income taxation. Senate Bill number 73, by the Committee on Assessment and Taxation, an act concerning property taxation. And Senate Bill number 74, by the Committee on Assessment and Taxation, an act concerning income taxation.
This constitutes introduction of Senate Bill 64 through Senate Bill 74. Reports of standing committees. Clerk will read.
Mr. President, the Committee on Federal and State Affairs recommends Senate Bill 4 be passed. Mr. President, the Committee on Assessment and Taxation recommends Senate Bill 35 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Mr. President, the Committee on Assessment and Taxation recommends Senate Bill 10 be amended and the bill be passed as amended. Mr. President, the Committee on Assessment and Taxation recommends Senate Concurrent Resolution 1603 be amended and the resolution be adopted as amended.
Before adjourning, are there announcements? Senator from Cherokee, Senator Schaumburger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have on my desk what they call modified term limits bill. If anybody'd like to sign it, it's for legislative races, House and Senate, 12 years. You can run after that, but you have to file by petition. If anybody's interested, I won't turn it in for a couple of days.
Any further announcements? Oh. Senator from, you're Shawnee, right? Senator from Shawnee, Senator Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a non-binding bipartisan resolution condemning the pardons and commutations of sentences for those individuals involved in the violent attack on law enforcement officers at the United States Capitol building on January 6, 2021. I'll be collecting co-sponsors through noon tomorrow, and I appreciate your support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any further announcements? Seeing none, Chair recognizes the Majority Leader from Sedgwick, Senator Blasey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate adjourn pro forma until 9 a.m. Friday, January 24th, 2025.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no.